as always, Jenny.
Hello. I'm a music lover and I'm worried about your cello. Jump in.
The script was written by Nick Hornby, I've read all of his books. I've read literally everything Nick's ever written, and more since I've met him. Books I didn't know he'd written. And when I read it, I just fell in love with the story. I thought it was such an unconventional way of telling the older man, younger girl story. I think it's not really been done like this before.
If I get to university, I'm going to read what I want and listen to what I want.
Which university?
Oxford. Did you go anywhere?
I studied what I believe they call the University of Life. I didn't get a very good degree there.
It was so rare to find a female character that was that interesting. You know, it's sort of difficult to find good female parts. She's a 16-year-old girl growing up at the beginning of the 60s, which is not a very interesting time to be around in England. It was sort of a static time in history where not much was going on for young people. You know, it wasn't. It was kind of dull in London then. And she's really academic, and she's sort of got her eyes. She's fixed on going to Oxford, and you know, and then going to Paris. She's incredibly passionate about learning and about art and music, and she has no one in her life who really shares that passion. And so she meets this man who appears to share the same interests. That's where the story sort of begins.
Jenny, these are my friends, Helen and Danny.
Hello. You have no idea how boring everything was before I met you.
Jenny's new boyfriend. He's not my new boyfriend.
He's amazing. Peter can't be embarrassed. You can't embarrass him. He never does the same thing twice. He always tries different things. So his sort of abandon and his ease on set kind of affected me, and I became much easier, and I had more fun making a film than I ever had before. I'd always been very nervous and very conscious in front of cameras, and I much preferred theatre. And then doing this, just you know, and Alfred Molina was so playful. I think it suddenly became. I just forgot about the cameras. It was fun.
We're not clever like you, so we have to be clever in other ways, because if we weren't, there would be no fun.
All that poetry and all those songs about something that lasts no time at all.
Yeah.
My favourite part of the whole experience was the last 2 days of our shoot when we came to Paris. All the crew were drinking red wine and hanging. It was very relaxed and fun, and yeah, it was a real joy. And to, you know, to try and recreate the 60s in Paris is so much easier than in most cities, because there's so much beautiful architecture. So we just that part of the 60s was beautiful to play here.
My choice is to do something hard and boring, or to go to Paris and have fun.
I think Paris was one of my favourite scenes, and then everything I did with Emma Thompson. We did just a day together. She was in the film for a day, and we shot all of her stuff in one day, and it was just like being in an acting masterclass and watching, you know, it was really, I'll never forget it. It was a really huge day for me, because she was sort of, and still is, my favourite actress. So it was great to be surrounded by people who, you know, when you're working with people like Emma and Alfred and Peter, you know, you're so afraid of being the weak link in such a good cast that you try and get better.
All my life I've been scared. I didn't want you to be scared.
You can do anything you want, you know that.
I feel old, but not very wise.
No, that shows you're a rebel. They don't want that at Oxford.
No, they don't want people who can think for themselves.
Oh, of course they don't.